Seminar prepared by Smitha Padijara. Topic: Paradigm shift from pedagogy to andragogy to heutagogy, concept and states. Critical pedagogy, meaning, need and implication in teacher education. Pedagogy is the teaching of children or dependent personality. Andragogy is the facilitation learning for adults who are self-directed learners. Pedagogy, according to Merriam-Webster, pedagogy is the art, science, or profession of teaching. This broad definition covers various aspects of teaching, and there are many moving parts to pedagogy that include teaching style, feedback, and assessment. Pedagogy, children's learning. The learners is dependent personality. The learners is dependent personality. Next point. The learners has few resources. The teachers devise transmission techniques to store knowledge in the learner's head. Next, learn in order to advance to the next stage. Learning is a subject centered focused on the prescribed curriculum and planned sequences according to the logic of the subject matters. Andragogy. And a new label and a new technology of adult learning to distinguish it from pre-adult schooling. Andragogy is the art and science of helping adults learn. In 1968, Malcolm Knox proposed a new label and new technology of the adult learning to distinguish it from pre-adult schooling. Adults learning. Andragogy. Adults are independent. In this case, adults are independent. They strive for autonomy and self-direction in learning. Next, adults use their own and other experiences. Next, adults learn when they express a need to know or to perform more effectively. Adult learning is fast or problem centered. Adults experience are rich resources for learning. They learn more effectively through experimental activities such as problem solving. Adults desire and enact a tendency toward self-directness as the nature. Andragogy is the art and science of helping adults learn. Adults are aware of specific learning needs generated by real life. Adults are competency-based learners who wish apply knowledge to immediate circumstances. A climate of mutual respect is most important for learning. Trust, support, and caring are essential components. Learning is present, and this should be emphasized. Next point. Heutagogy. Heutagogy is the study of self-determined learning, may be viewed a natural progression from earlier educational methodologies, in particular from capability development. Heutagogy, self-directed learning. Learners are independent. In this case, learners are independent. Teachers provide some resources but the learners decided the path of negotiating the learning. Next, learning is not necessarily planned or linear. Planned or linear. Next, self-efficiency, knowing how to learn, creativity, ability to use these qualities. Self-efficiency, knowing how to learn, creativity, ability to use these qualities in novel as well as situations, and working working with others. Learning is not necessarily based on need but on the identification of the potential to learn in novel situations. Progressions from pedagogy to andragogy, then to heutagogy. Next, critical pedagogy. Critical pedagogy is a teaching philosophy that invites education to encourage students to critique structure of power and oppressions. Critical pedagogy is a teaching approach which attempts to help students question and challenge domination and the beliefs and practices that dominate them. It tries to help students become critically conscious. Critical pedagogy, it is a teaching method that aims to help in challenging and activities struggling against any form of social oppressions and their related customs and beliefs. The father of Paulo Freire, the critical pedagogy. Pedagogy is the oppressed book written by Freire. Critical pedagogy is a philosophy of education and a social movement that developed and applied concepts from critical theory and the study of culture. So, critical pedagogy is a philosophy of education that views teaching as a political act. This of course includes challenging students to examine the power, structure and status. Need of critical pedagogy. To empower students and help to grow. Next, to liberate students from oppressions, to receive indigenous knowledge and anti-colonial studies, to bring justice and quality in education. Next, for rejection of economic determination, to listen human sufferings, to end of banking system of education. Main features of critical pedagogy: the education for liberation, education for concentration, dialogue as pedagogical tools, dialogues and pedagogical tools. Next, problem posing education, equalization, teacher-student relation, co-construction of knowledge, practice as synthesis of theory, and practice in learning process, and transformative social justice learning. Features of critical pedagogy: to provide learners with tools to themselves. Its approach is issue-based or problem-based. Critical pedagogy transforms the learners from object to subject. It transforms the learners from passive listeners to active participant. It is focused on dialogue instead of one-way transmission of knowledge. It is focused on dialogue